sorry.
Hi, I'm Alexa O'Brien.
Hi, Alexa.
How is everybody? Thank you for coming today.
All right.
I just prepared a short statement. When the U.S. government said in federal court that they wouldn't guarantee I wouldn't be indefinitely detained under Section 1021B2 for articles I had written on the war on terror, what was at stake was more than our national politics of charismatic luckiness, ambiguous scapegoats, and self-centered objectivity. Only fools argue that laws concerning the life and liberty of human beings should read in the poetry of fortune cookies and be backed up with the legal precedent of Yale's speeches. Section 1021B2 was passed with bipartisan support, bought and paid for by lobbyists in one of this nation's most mistrusted Congresses, and signed into law by Ad Age Marketer of the Year with a signing statement as arbitrary and deceptive as the Justice Department's about-face appeal and arguments in this very case. Let's dispense with the myth that the ubiquitous application of extrajudicial power is the exception to an unchecked executive. And let's dispense with the myth that Congress has the constitutional power to legislate the military detention of civilians. Let's also dispense with the myth that the U.S. government hasn't already detained journalists under the AUMF seeking to gain intelligence on media organizations, or the myth that the president hasn't played a personal role in the imprisonment of a journalist covering the U.S. war on terror in Yemen. I've covered the WikiLeaks release of JTF memoranda known as the Guantanamo Files and revolutions across the Middle East and North Africa. I've conducted hours of interviews with former Gitmo prison guards, detainees, defense lawyers, and human rights activists. For the last year, I've covered the U.S. investigation of WikiLeaks, and to date, I've published the only publicly available transcripts for the secret prosecution of Bradley Manning taking place at Fort Meade. Because of my work as a journalist, government contractors attempted to falsely link a group, which I helped found, whose only purpose is to support campaign finance reform in the United States, to Al-Qaeda. They even published articles of their own, showcasing their ability to make Americans pay 100 times more for the insecurity we could have had for free, stating the group that I helped found was infiltrated with Al-Qaeda and so-called cyber terrorists. Emails published by WikiLeaks indicated that other security contractors with ties to the U.S. government were specifically asked to connect this group to any Saudi or other fundamentalist Islamic organization. DHS published their unintelligence, declaring in error that the group that I helped found was linked to cyber terrorists. I am grateful to the individuals, including a fellow journalist, who privately warned me that there were other unpublished government documents and that agents had their sight on me. I am grateful to the attorneys Carl Mayer and Bruce Afrin, to the other plaintiffs, to Tangerine Bolin, and to Chris Hedges for their generosity of spirit towards me and their good work. Section 1021 violates the First and Fifth Amendments of the U.S. Constitution, our greatest protection against threats to our liberty and national security. This legislative spawn of our national ideology, the war on terror, also preys on the spirits of people because it offers us the illusion of an identity, of dignity, of morality, making it easier for this nation and our people to part with them all. Thank you.
So when the government decided they wanted to lie to the people about everything and create a phony justification for war, the phony argument about weapons of mass destruction, I was removed. I was definitely in the way.
Important to drive home is the executive, unchecked, doesn't limit itself. That's the nature of executive power. Ideally, you don't build an architecture for government based on